Call the meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Township of Washington in accordance with the requirements of the New Jersey statutes regarding open public meetings. Notice of this meeting was legally advertised in the Courier Post and the South Jersey Times and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Fire exits are located through the double doors on your right and your left. Please silence all mobile devices. This meeting is being videotaped. Anyone who does not wish to be seen on television may be excused. This will be shown on Channel 9, on the Verizon Channel 36, every week, Sunday at 9 p.m., Wednesday at 7 p.m., Friday at 10 p.m., and Saturday at 10 p.m., and will continue until the next meeting. Flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Ms. Donato?
Here.
Mr. Fazio? Mr. Longfellow?
Here.
Ms. Pasqualone?
Here.
Mr. Perry?
Here.
Mayor Gattinelli?
Here.
Mr. Platt?
Here.
Mr. Gonter?
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have mayoral presentations. First one, Employee of the Month for February. And that's Danielle Varela.
I would like to offer this Employee of the Month to Danielle Barilla in recognition of your dedication, passion, and hard work for the month of February. Danielle actually helped one of our residents this month with an issue that they were having. They didn't have all their paperwork with them when they were registering their dog with us. So she made a phone call over to the vet, got the information. It was one of our senior residents. And she helped them in a way that we feel Washington Township represents. And we like to recognize those that go above and beyond for us. So I wanted to thank her with an Employee of the Month. This is a photo that we had taken in front of her desk earlier this month, just to recognize her with a great big thank you from us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a mayoral proclamation for an Eagle Scout, Robert Troy Young.
The Mayor of Washington Township and members of the Township Council wish to recognize Robert Troy Young, Scout Troop 81, for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. The first Eagle Scout rank was awarded in September 1912. Troy entered scouting on April 13, 2001 at the age of 12. Along with the way toward becoming an Eagle Scout, he was then chief from 2013 to 2015, assistant scout leader from 2015 to 16, and currently holds the instructor position and is a junior assistant scoutmaster. To earn the designation of Eagle Scout, the candidate must complete and pass rigid requirements that includes earning a total of 21 merit badges. Troy earned 32 badges and became an ordeal member of the Order of the Arrow on July 25, 2015. In addition to the merit badges, Troy designed, planned, and directed 3 individual projects for homes on the Envision program for the Center of Family Service. The program offers community-based long-term residential treatment for female youth ages 11 through 19. The projects were 2 reflection benches, 5 memory boards, and 6 outside flower boxes with flowers. The required community project took a total of 160 hours to complete. Troy passed the Eagle Board of Review on October 10, 2017. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and members of council of Washington Township that Robert Troy Young be recognized as a leader within our community and congratulated for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. Be it further resolved that I, mayor, and members of Township Council of Washington Township do hereby declare that this proclamation to be an official document and authorized by the Township Council and presented to Robert Troy Young on the 7th day of February 2018.
Okay, we have Chief Gersick, who's going to come up and do his State of the Police Department Township address.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and residents. Tonight, before I deliver my State of the Police Department address, I would like to personally thank the Mayor, Council, and Business Administrator for your constant support. You've allowed me to take my vision for the Police Department and make it a reality. As a career law enforcement professional, I appreciate the trust you have in me and our department. On January 2nd, 2017, I was honored to be sworn in as Washington Township's 9th Chief of Police. Shortly thereafter, I presented Council with my 5-year strategic plan, which addressed staffing, building concerns and maintenance, and our new mission statement. During my first year, I challenged my officers to think outside the box and balance what many consider typical duties of a police officer with the department's new initiative of community caretaking, with the underlying goal of earning and maintaining the trust of our community. Relationships are the backbone of any community, and I believe by the wide variety of community programs we held this year, we have gained the trust and friendship of many of our residents. We have balanced our successful community outreach programs with traditional police work. Washington Township saw a 4% decrease in crime, and our Detective Bureau, under the guidance of Lieutenant Pelosi, had one of the highest crime clearance rates in Gloucester County. Our low crime rate is one of the reasons why Washington Township is a desirable place to live. When I walked into my office on January 3rd, I hit the ground running and added an additional school resource officer to our high school. I directed our officers to walk each of our 11 schools daily, implemented a new DARE program for all 5th grade students, and implemented High Five Fridays, making our officers more approachable and recognizable. I know this is working. Recently, during the sign of peace at our church, a young boy said, "Peace be with you, Chief." After Mass, I asked the boy how he knew who I was. He said, "I've seen you in my school," and asked, "Are you coming back?" Community outreach programs have helped our department keep a service mind and attitude. With the help of our police explorers and our PBA, we have held several food drives and clothing drives to help those within our community who have fallen on hard times. We have hosted a self-defense seminar, active shooter seminar for our religious institutions in town, and a citizens police academy. These events have been well attended. After moving National Night Out to Washington Lake Park, we experienced our biggest turnout to date. We use social media now, such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, to communicate with our residents consistently. In a little over a year, we have gained 3,000 new followers. The use of social media was never used by our police department to keep residents up to date and informed. Our department is growing. Last year, we purchased a K-9 with donated funds and put them on patrol. We have 6 special officers going through the Gloucester County Police Academy who will graduate next month. We swore in 6 new police officers and hired a part-time cleaning person to address the neglected police station. When I took office in 2017, I was made aware by members of our Professional Standards Bureau that our accreditation inexplicably expired in 2015. We are working tirelessly to prepare for a mock assessment to earn accreditation in 2018. This is one of our main goals for the new year. In addition, in 2017, I was notified of grant applications that were not pursued. With the assistance of Lieutenant Lee and our CFO, Ms. Botchick, we secured almost $180,000 of unclaimed, safe and secure grant money for funding years 13, 14, and 15. The police department must never allow grant money to go unclaimed. Currently, our CFO and Lieutenant Lee are seeking $120,000 for years 16 and 17. Additional grant money was used to purchase new bulletproof vests in 2017. We decreased the size of our fleet and focused on efficiency. No longer will you pull into the police department parking lot and see it littered with old, out-of-service police cars. We took ownership of new police cars and deployed them to patrol in a short time. With forfeiture funds at no cost to taxpayers, a new John Deere Gator ATV was purchased and will be used at community events and outreach programs. A new radar signboard to address residents' speeding concerns and remind drivers to slow down was also purchased. Finally, in the spring, you will see a professional sign on Green Tree Road marking our police station. I cannot tell you how many calls we receive daily from residents asking where our police department is located. Overall, morale within the rank and file of the department has improved. I have enjoyed the support of our PBA, our largest bargaining unit, representing 70 police officers. There was not one grievance signed in 2017 by the PBA. The PBA and its members have supported the new vision of the police department, as well as my installation as chief. In 2018, the mayor, council, and residents will see us working tirelessly and relentlessly towards our goal of reducing crime by being proactive and engaging with our residents and by identifying issues before they become larger problems. Our officers will protect the thin blue line between order and chaos, between respect for decency and lawlessness. We will continue to provide services, security, safety, and enforcement throughout the Township of Washington. We will introduce new outreach initiatives such as Sundays with a Cop, open house at the police station, book it story time at Hagan Library, and possibly a police athletic league. To listen, care, and engage our youth in positive police experiences will be a mainstay in 2018. These initiatives and worthwhile ventures will continue to provide my officers opportunities to gain trust of our youngest residents. A priority in 2018 is to increase staffing in the Patrol Bureau. A New Jersey local government review of best practices recommends that 75% of a police force be assigned to the Uniform Patrol Bureau. Patrol staffing is and will remain a priority. Recently, a captain, lieutenant, 2 sergeants, and a patrol officer retired. I will be requesting that the salaries from these positions be used to hire additional patrol officers. Like the military, my motto is more boots on the ground. Finally, as we look forward to 2018, we will continue with ongoing improvements to our 50-year-old police headquarters. I will request new carpet, additional lighting, paint, ceiling tiles, landscaping, and a break room are some of the improvements we will see. Good working conditions arise from the values that a real leader views as important to a mission, such as ensuring our employees feel valued and appreciated. Thank you.
Chief, if you would just stand still for a moment, the mayor has something to come down and speak about the chief.
Not so fast. We got a little special gift for you here. With that being said, right now I'm a little speechless. I don't know how to approach this, but other than to say that how excited and happy we are with the leadership that you have in 2017 bringing us into today in 2018. There are no words. You just spoke so eloquently about your passion for the police department. And anything that I would say right now, I don't want to undermine anything that you've said because you do such a beautiful job. You continue to do a beautiful job. You know, when we first started this venture in 2017, we started to get to know each other and we didn't know what we were going to accomplish. And you had given us our 3-year and 5-year plan. And a plan, you know, we all know that sometimes we have, you know, it's in everyone's best interest, but we don't know if we're actually going to put that through fruition. You've done that. You've already shown us that that's where you're going. You're going to lead us into a greater and safer town, which is what I know that we can expect, and I lean on you to do that, and you're the right person for that. And I just want you to know, I really appreciate appreciate everything that you've done and continue to do. And I know with the sea of blue that I see here, you have representation here. If you change the morale, you change the town, you've changed the residents. They're excited to see people out there. They're excited to see everybody and all your innovative changes and things that you've done just to bring the community together, outreach, everything. It's really lovely that I really appreciate it. So this is just a little something for you here and to our little hero. We're going to give you. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have Brian McCafferty from Municipal Public Works, who'll be talking about snow clearing and advisory update.
First, let me say those are some tough acts to follow. Congratulations to Danielle on her Employee of the Month, and Robert on the...
Hey, Brian, why don't you
Yes.
just wait a couple of minutes
Okay.
for everybody to clear out?
Sure,
So you can have our undivided attention.
no problem. Good. Okay. And to the chief, I can say as someone who's worked here half my life and have lived here my entire life, it's really tremendous what you're doing, and we all appreciate it over on our side of the street, too. I think that our department and the police department are working extremely well together, better than I think we ever have in the past, and I think that's a direct reflection on the chief and his leadership that's here tonight. So, but we're here. Jason asked me to come in because we talk a lot about snow removal and the feedback we get from the residents. And we wanted to just kind of get out here and take 5 minutes to explain what we do, why we do it, how we came up with our plan, and answer some FAQs that we often get into. So we have a strategic procedure in place for all snow events. We monitor weather forecasts constantly, and when we see, even a week out, we start talking about what the forecast says. And regardless of the snow amount that's forecasted, if we do get a snow event, Public Works is in prior to the storm, and right at the onset of the storm, we begin what we call our Priority 1 road operation, where we start clearing main arteries through town. We'll start by salting them first, and those roads, an example of what we consider a priority road would be like a Herfill Road, Mount Pleasant Road, Johnson Road, basically all the main thoroughfares through each development in town, so that these roads lead access to county roads or state roads that have already been cleared or are in the process of being cleared by those agencies. We do that so no resident has to travel any more than 1 mile to get to a main artery that is treated. And we'll continue to do that through the duration of any snow event. We work on those roads and keeping those roads open for emergency personnel. When we get into more than 2 inches of snow, we start looking at potentially, depending upon what the next day's forecast is, if it's a weekend coming, based on many different factors, we'll start to consider bringing in outside agencies, outside contractors to help us with our snow removal process. Some facts about our town. We have over 700 roads in Washington Township. That equals 170 miles, and there's over 200 courts. It's a lot of area to cover. Some of the questions we receive are, might be 6 hours into a snowstorm, and people will say, well, you haven't plowed my street yet. We ask for a fair amount of time to clear the town. On our goal is like within 14 to 24 hours. So, there is never a situation where there is a street in town that is left totally unattended. We are sure to plow every street in town. Another question that we get often is, why don't we salt every street in town? And salt is not cheap. It's around $50 a ton, and it's not effective on roads that don't get a lot of travel. So the side roads, salt is not a wise way to spend our resources, because we have to work within a budget, and when you put salt down on a road that gets very little travel, it won't do a whole heck of a lot. So that's a question that we receive often. Another point that we often hear are complaints about roads that we don't even care for in town. There's county and state roads in town. Not a lot of residents know that there's that we differentiate between county and township roads. So the county road list is Blackwood Barnesboro Road, Berlin Cross Keys Road, Chapel Heights Road, Egg Harbor Road, Fish Pond Road, Fries Mill Road, Gantown Road, Glassboro Cross Keys Road, Green Tree Road, Herfield Road, Herfield Grenlock Road, Pittman Downer, Tuckahoe Road, Woodbury, Turnersville. And then there's the state roads, which would be Delsey Drive and Route 42 and 168. So I shared this story with the mayor and Jason. One of the complaints we received after a snowstorm, and we're very vigilant with answering every resident's concern and complaint. We keep an eye on our social media posts that we put out there, keeping folks involved with what we're doing. And one of the residents I called back, really got on me and said, I want to make a complaint. Glassboro Public Works is doing a much better job than Washington Township Public Works when it comes to snow removal. I said, well, explain that to me. He says, well, I travel Fish Pond Road every day, and while I was in Glassboro, the road was great. It was down to bare pavement. As soon as I crossed over into Washington Township, it was snow covered, and it wasn't a good job. And I said, would it surprise you to know that the same agency takes care of Fish Pond Road in its entirety? It received the same amount of plowing, the same amount of salt, and the same amount of attention. And they did not know that. And I bring that point up because it shows how environmental conditions really impact what we do. Where we could throw a bunch of resources and treat a road and plow a road multiple times, but if you don't have pavement temperatures that are high enough to promote melting, or if you have shade where the sun doesn't hit the snow-covered road, you're not going to get it down to bare pavement. And bare pavement is not really our goal. If it's a result of what we do, we're happy about that, but it's really an unattainable goal, so that's not what we set. Our goal is to make safe roads for the residents, to make roads that are passable, roads that can be traveled with caution, safely. So with that, I just want to hit on a couple more questions that we see, and one of them is, why don't we see blacktop? We use a rubber cutting edge on our equipment, and that's to protect the infrastructure, storm drains, manhole covers, and the equipment itself. Because if you're using metal cutting edges and you hit a storm drain or something, you're not only going to tear that up. I've broken windshields in the past before we went to the rubber cutting edges. So it's hard to get down to blacktop, and they ride off the ground, about a half an inch. So another question we get is, or complaint we receive often is, you didn't plow my street curb to curb. There's a lot of reasons at times that doesn't happen. That is a goal of ours, but we have to contend with cars in the roadway, people shoveling, low-hanging trees that prevent us from getting the plows close to the curb. Folks have basketball nets out, and it's a real challenge plowing. Like that last storm that we had this year that was about 6 or 7 inches, we were plowing right in the heart of rush hour. Everybody was on the road. Those that were already home were clearing their driveways, and it makes for a tremendous challenge for us to work around all the traffic. Ideally, we like to be plowing in the middle of the night when there's no one on the road. This way, we can really do what we have to do without interference. Another complaint we received often is you plowed my driveway in. It's just not something that can be avoided. When we plow snow, the snow rolls off the plow to the right side of the road, and it's going to land in the driveway. That's one of the reasons why when there's cars in the road and then the next day they move the cars, they call us, they say, you didn't plow my street curb to curb. Well, there was a car there, and now if we go down and plow 30 driveways in, we're going to have a lot more complaints than we would if we leave the road passable for two-way traffic as opposed to opening up wider and reblocking those driveways. Snow blowing is a problem for us. We'll go and we'll clear a whole street, and then, me as a supervisor, I'm driving around checking the work, and people are blowing snow back into the road that we just cleared. And there is an ordinance against that. We don't really enforce it because we know that snow's a pain in the neck, but we would ask that, folks could be conscious of that and blow the street, or blow the snow away from the street and back up onto the yard. The snow districts are broken down into 4 districts, and I'm rewinding back quickly that when we do call in contractors, we have 4 districts, and we bring in 2 separate contractors, and Washington Township Public Works with our own fleet of trucks do 1/4 of the town. Another contractor does 1/4 of the town, and then we have a contractor that does half the town. With that, we constantly supervise them. We have, Frank from the department is here. He works with one group of contractors. Adele Riff, another supervisor, works with another set of contractors. Nick Fiorentino, another supervisor we have, works with these people. So we've heard that, we don't supervise our contractors. That's just not true. We're out there with them, and we make sure that they do the job that we pay them for. And then if there's ever an issue, we want residents to reach out to us and let us know what their problems are, because when a snowstorm ends and we're done our plowing operation, the days following, all we're doing is we're out there cleaning up and trying to address concerns if something got plowed in, if, we're not perfect, if a street happened to fall by the wayside and not get plowed, we will go out and plow it. So, one of the things, and I'll end with this, that becomes a source of frustration is we look, I personally do look at some of the social media stuff, and 6 hours into a 12-hour snow event, we're getting, they're not plowing my street, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. Call us, and we will address it, and we'll let you know. I mean, I'm there from the start of a snowstorm to the finish, and sometimes leaving. My wife and kids, and all of our employees leave their wife and kids, and they're out there working for 24, 36 hours straight, and then it gets a little disheartening when people are beating up on our guys who are really hard-working guys out there, sacrificing their time away from their family for hours upon hours doing a job. So if there's an issue, we want to hear about it and and fix it in a constructive manner. So that's just kind of a brief overview. I could talk about snow removal for hours, but I know we all want to get out of here, so I'm going to hang around. If anyone has any questions after the meeting, when you have your question and answer session, I'll be here to answer any specific questions that anyone from the public might have, or if any of you folks have any questions, just let me know. But we're out there, we're working hard at it, and it's important to us to communicate with our residents and let them know that them traveling safely is very important to us. We take it very seriously. So,
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, we're going to move on to the bill list. Approval of the bill list for February 7th, 2018. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Roll call?
Ms. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Longfellow?
Yes.
Ms. Pasqualone?
Abstain.
Mr. Perry?
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, minutes. Approval of regular minutes for January 24th, 2018. Motion to approve.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the motion? Roll call?
Ms. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Longfellow?
Yes.
Ms. Pasqualone?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes. Okay, move on to ordinances.
Hold on one
Oh,
second.
wait.
Dana, you
I
have,
abstain. I thought I was at the 24th meeting.
Please mark Councilwoman Pasqualone as abstaining on that last
Yes,
motion.
January
Thank you.
24th.
Okay, you got that? Okay. Ordinance 001, 2018, amending Chapter 2, Article 9 of the Code of the Township of Washington, Department of Law Enforcement. This ordinance is up for adoption. Motion to open a public hearing on the ordinance.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call?
You can do all of it.
Ms. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Longfellow?
Yes.
Ms. Pasqualone?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes. Wait a minute. Where are we at here?
Who's
Is there
open?
anyone from the public wishing to
Public
speak?
wants to come- Okay, I'm just, I had a senior moment for a minute. Is there anybody from the public who wishes to come up and speak on this one?
He's euphoric over the Eagles' victory. We understand.
Yeah. I will. Well excited about the parade.
Giancarlo Dorazio. I live in Washington Township. According to a newspaper article, if this ordinance is adopted, we may have more police officers at no additional cost to taxpayers. As a taxpayer and a supporter of law enforcement, I fully support this ordinance. Having more police presence at no additional cost to the taxpayers, it's a wonderful thing for the township. I hope you adopt it.
Anybody else that wish to speak on this ordinance? A motion to close to the closed public hearing?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion to adopt.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion on motion? Roll call?
Ms. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Longfellow?
Yes.
Ms. Pasqualone?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes. Ordinance 002, 2018, salary ordinance for 2018. This ordinance is up for adoption. Motion to open to the public hearing on the ordinance.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are now open for the salary ordinance of public.
Giancarlo Dorazio. I am a resident and a taxpayer of Washington Township. As a resident and a taxpayer, I am concerned about the new line item on this salary ordinance. The redevelopment legal services paying an additional $25,000 to the township lawyer. This new job was filled in late December by ordinance without advertising it, in spite of the recommendation from Councilwoman Pasqualone to go through RFP. Dana, thank you for the good work. The perception is that you created a job for a friend rather than finding the best candidate for the job. Adopting this questionable and borderline unethical salary ordinance may not be the responsible thing to do. I suggest the following three options for you to consider before you vote on this salary ordinance. Option 1, repeal Ordinance 40-2017 and go through the process of advertising the new job. Who knows? You may find the best candidate for the job, and he or she may be a resident of this township. Therefore, we keep the $25,000 in the community. Option 2, increase the maximum salary of the township lawyer by $25,000 and see how well that goes with the taxpayers. Option 3, since the job description has changed drastically, advertise the township lawyer's position and try to find the best candidate for the job. A job that pays the original maximum of no more than $100,000. And again, he or she may be a resident, and that will give the community many benefits. I suggest you table this ordinance until you evaluate these options and consider some ideas that you may have developed from public participation. Please do not rush in to adopt the salary ordinance as is. Rushing into adopting it has no benefits to this community. Good night.
Anyone else from the public wishing to speak on this ordinance? Motion to close public session?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I have a motion to adopt.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Council President, I just one thing I do want to point out, that the additional salary, most of it, if not all of it, will end up being reimbursed to the township through dedicated redevelopment escrow agreements with potential redevelopers. And we already have 2 redevelopment projects with escrow agreements already in place. Thank you.
Roll call?
Ms. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Longfellow?
Yes.
Ms. Pasqualone?
No.
Mr. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. President, if I may, before we move on, I'd just like to say that while I disagree with Mr. Durazio in saying that we were rushing to this has been debated and discussed in 4 open sessions of council. So as far as rushing or need to table this, I disagree with him. I think this is the right thing to do, and I think for all the reasons we've already discussed, looking forward to bringing Mr. Platt on to handle this part of the business for us.
Thank you.
Okay. Ordinance 003, 2018, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limit and to establish a cap bank. NJSA 40A 4-45-14. This ordinance is for introduction. Public hearing and adoption will be on February 28, 2018. Can I get a motion to introduce?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Discussion.
Discussion? Roll call?
May I ask a question of Colette? Is that okay? Would that be okay? Why? I'm curious. Why 333,000 roughly to increase? Like, what is the money going to be used for? The excess. Yep. Sure. Thank you.
Anything. It's just to say that a percentage of our appropriations that we used last year, so that was our amount, that we're allowed to go up 2.5 according to the state, and then we're able to go up an extra percent. Just to say that we may, in our appropriations in 2018, could possibly go up an extra 300,000. Doesn't mean that we're going to.
Where do you see that amount coming from? Foresee that 300,000 coming from? Where would that? What department?
From the total appropriations on the budget in 2017.
Okay.
If I may, so this is a basically precautionary ordinance that we adopt every year in order to allow us, when budgeting, to handle the decision to decide how much of that cap bank we want to use, not necessarily that we're going to use the entire bank.
I just want to make
Not
sure.
going to use, right. It's
Okay.
just saying
It's-
that just in case.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, the 300,000 that's in the ordinance is from the total appropriations that we used in 2017, which is then multiplied by that 1%.
Right, I understand. I'm just asking, is there a reason to believe that we would actually take advantage or capitalize on this additional amount? What's the probability?
There,
I think
as
it's
of
too
right,
soon to tell, right?
it is a little too soon
Yeah.
to tell. But it's just putting it out there just in case. And then for the appropriations to either go up that amount, but at least we have this bank for in case anything catastrophic happens, or just in preparation for any other appropriations that may come up for this year.
Mr. Perry, I have a question of Colette, if I might.
Go ahead.
This cap bank is distinguished from the tax levy cap. Those are 2 different caps, correct?
Those
This
are
is when
different,
it's
correct.
budgetary spending cap bank, that we have it to preserve just in case we may need it. If you don't preserve it, then you obviously lose it. The 2% tax levy cap, that's something completely different,
Yes,
correct?
the appropriations cap is 3.5, or up to 3.5, and the tax levy cap is 2%.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call?
Ms. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Longfellow?
Yes.
Ms. Pasqualone?
No.
Mr. Perry?
Yes. Okay, moving on to resolutions. Resolutions 042-2018 to 046 were tabled in the January 24th meeting, and a motion is needed to remove them from the tables and allow them back in the consent agenda. I get a motion to remove from the table?
I'll make the motion to remove them.
On page 5. Second.
Any discussion on it?
You can have a voice vote, Leo, if you'd like.
Yes.
All in favor?
No, voice vote, please.
You have a motion and a second
Take
to
them
move them
off
from
the
the
table,
table.
right?
right?
Yes, okay. Voice vote?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
This is to take them off the table, right?
This takes them off the table, puts them back onto the
Okay,
agenda.
no.
That's what this motion does.
Okay. No.
And they fall under the consent agenda.
The following resolutions are by consent agenda and only require a vote for all listed. Each one must be read by title. If any member of the council wishes to have one removed and heard separately, they need to indicate prior. Anybody want to have anything held or?
I just have a question about A, B, C, D, and E. I just want to confirm that all the professional services contracts over the 14,000 threshold were put out on RFP. I just want to confirm that before we take a vote.
The answer is yes, they were all RFP'd. In addition, what we did this year, in an effort to be more transparent, the contracts, I think, are all here.
Okay.
And what we also wanted to do, so they're all RFP'd. They went through the process, and at the reorganization meeting this year, all of these professionals were appointed. This is the second piece, which is sort of approving their, not sort of, it is approving their contracts, and we're trying to give the members of council and the public also the amounts that are dedicated from a budgetary standpoint, again, not to exceed amounts that are on the agenda.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so everybody good with this?
Yes.
Resolution 42, 2018, approve a professional service contract for affordable, I'm having a rough one tonight, Affordable Housing Council. Resolution 043, 2018, approve a professional service contract for Affordable Housing Administrative Agent. Resolution 44, 2018, approve a professional service contract for Labor Council. Resolution 45, 2018, approve a professional service contract for Special Conflict Council. Resolution 46, 2018, resolution to approve professional service contract for Bond Council. Resolution 47, 2018, appointing certified municipal financial officer as petty cash custodian for 2018. Resolution 48, 2018, approving reduction of the performance guarantee for Simony 400 Delsey Drive project 0818P 380.1, Township 1933. Resolution 49, 2018, approving reduction of the performance bond for Republic Bank 401 Gantown Road, Egg Harbor Road project 0818Z193-I. Resolution 50, 2018, resolution of support from Township Council authorizing sustainable Jersey grant application. Resolution 51, 2018, resolution authorizing the continuing operation of the Green Team Advisory Committee. Resolution 52, 2018, resolution authorizing the collection of a fee for use of community garden. Resolution 53, 2018, resolution to ratify a memorandum of understanding between FinCredit Incorporated and the Township of Washington. Resolution 54, 2018, resolution accepting a performance bond and escrow for Kennedy Hospital Project 0818P443, Phase 1A. I get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Longfellow?
Yes.
Ms. Pasqualone?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes. Okay, we're going to go on to the public participation.
Old business, new business.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead tonight.
No, you gonna be all right?
You want to get out of here?
Nah, I'm still choked up from Pat. That's what it is. It kind of threw me off. I'm still welled up from it. And an immense council, you know? Okay. Anybody have any old business, Dana?
No old business.
Sean?
Not today, sir.
No old business.
Okay. New business?
No new business.
Nothing to report at this time either.
Should we do reports at this time as well?
Kill two birds with one stone.
Okay. I do have something to report on. For the Economic Development Committee, the RFP closes on the 15th for the Economic Development Officer, so I just want to make that announcement. That's the only report I have.
You have anything, Sean?
No.
Yes. So besides from the huge victory on Super Bowl Sunday for the Eagles, for the hoagie sale, we've raised over $50,000. And I also partnered and worked with a few other people to raise money for 100 hoagies to be delivered by surprise by our awesome community policing. So I just wanted to, again, thank the chief for that. Was an awesome experience for those families to receive those hoagies and surprise. They were really appreciative of it. A reminder that Public Works, at the Public Works Garage will be our free rabies clinic from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On February 17th. And if you get there, maybe get there like 8:30, 8:45, because the line gets pretty long. But that's a great opportunity to take advantage for your dogs and for your cats as well. You can bring your cats. And also to just please disregard on our new fabulous calendars that we got. I hope everybody's enjoying them. But please disregard on the new calendar for February 21st. It says that there's going to be an economic development meeting. That is incorrect. Also, all the future months that state the economic development meeting, since the economic development is an advisory board, they're not open to the public. So if you are interested in getting involved in the Economic Development Board, I just advise you to reach out to the council liaison, Dana, or myself, and we can help you and assist you with any information on the Economic Development Board that have been. Also, with Economic Development, Jason Gonter and I have been appointed to the Gloucester County Economic Development Council, so we'll be able to give you some more information about what the county is going to be bringing and what the county can partner up and give us in assistance with Washington Township. So.
Yeah, I just have a few things to report. For our seniors, there's a few projects and programs that are going on right now. Gloucester County offers to our senior citizens a nutrition program, which offers 6 different sites that serve hot, nutritious meals Monday through Friday, as well as socialization and activities. Senior citizens 60 years and older who are residents of Gloucester County are welcome to attend. Seniors are asked to donate $1.25 for each meal. However, this is purely voluntary. There is no obligation to donate. So all donations that are collected will be used to broaden the services and contribute to the Older American Citizens Act. If you have access to a computer and you wish to receive more information, you may visit the county website, which we'll post. We'll put that on our website as well. We can keep some information in the municipality as well if someone wanted to come by and pick that up. Gloucester County also offers free simple wills. It's a program that they offer for those. Again, the program is free for the seniors over the age of 60. Seniors are welcome to contact that department in the county in order to receive help with writing up their last will and testament. The contact phone number for this program is 856-384-6900. I know they're a little far out at this point, but if you call, they can certainly make an appointment and have you come in to help you set that up. We've also looked into, there's a program for our veterans as well. It's a tax exemption for the veterans. and that is for our state. It's the veterans in Washington Township on or any time before the last day of the tax year. If you are a military veteran who was honorably discharged or released under honorable circumstances from active duty in the armed forces of the United States, you and your spouse may be eligible to receive an extra $3,000 tax exemption on your income tax return. We have added the Veteran Home Tax Exemption submission form to the Township website. That is www.townshipnj.com. So if you take a look at that on our page under Newsflash, it will show you that information. All right, and then if you have any questions or concerns about that, anything further, you can certainly reach out to Senator Madden's office, which is in Turnersville, 856-232-6700. It's that time of year for budget, so we are preparing for the 2018 budget workshop meetings. We are planning on having that again with our business administrator and our CFO, Jason Gonter and Colette Bakich. We will again be hosting the small group information budget workshops at the municipal building. There will be more information to follow, but these dates at this time and various times, which will be listed on the Township website and social media, are as follows. February 21st, we'll have 12 p.m., the 28th at 6 p.m., March 7th at 8 a.m., the 14th at 6 p.m., 21st, 12 p.m., and 28th at 6 p.m. It'll continue April 4th at 12 p.m., April 11th, 6 p.m., and April 18th at 8 a.m., and April 28th at 6 p.m. I'd like to introduce, if you don't mind standing up again, Colette. This is our new CFO. I want to welcome her. Thank you. 2018. We're all excited to work with you. Thank you. And then finally, happy 182nd birthday to Washington Township on Saturday, February 17th, 2018.
Okay,
Joe, if I could jump in, I just want to say a great big congratulations to Dana, Councilwoman Pascalone, and your journey with the Eagles. Go Birds.
Absolutely.
That's another thing to cross off my list here.
Sorry, Joe.
They won
Thank you,
because
I
she was
appreciate
there.
that.
It was all because of you.
Oh, yes.
A couple things. On Saturday, February 17th, the Washington Township Fire Department will be having its budget election. Times are 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the fire station on 213 East Holly. This is for the third consecutive year, the Washington Fire District has proposed a budget with a decrease in taxes. So they're encouraging everybody to come out and vote in this election. It's not too far from where they're going to get the rabies shots. So if you go late for the rabies shots, you go to lunch and you go right down to the firehouse and put your vote in.
Got a plan.
Joe, you said it's the budget election. Are there also commissioner seats up for election as well?
There's one commissioner seat.
Great.
And they have 2 votes on there for equipment. They're looking to replace an older fire engine, and there's another one that they were looking to get in.
And polls are open from 2 to 9?
2 to 9, 2 p.m. to 9 o'clock. And on Sunday, February 18th, the American Legion Post 521 will be holding their pancake breakfast at the Senior Center from 8:30 to 12:30. Adults are $8, seniors are $6, children under 5 are $3. So come on out and help out the American Legion people with it. Okay. Anybody else with reports? Or we good? All right, we'll move on to public participation. We asked the people to please follow the public decorum posted and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Once you have completed your comments or questions, please take a seat. If you have questions, then I'll ask anybody in the council or up here if they want to answer your comments. So do I get a motion to open to the public?
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Voice vote would be
Let's
sufficient.
do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Anybody from the public? It's open now if you wish to come up and talk.
Evening, I'm Bob Abbott, Vice President of Washington Township Board of Education. After hearing Chief Gersick make his statements tonight, you cannot imagine the appreciation that we have as a school district, our teachers, the kids. It's a whole new knit type of thing because we have the extra service of the police officers in the schools. It's a great deterrent. But thank you, Pat. We appreciate it. And we thank council because it didn't cost us any extra money. Thank you. Just as a footnote, all these years that the Eagles have never won, as soon as we get a cheerleader from Washington Township, we hit the Super Bowl. Thanks, Dana.
I thought it was my banner. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak?
Good evening. I'm John Scarpacci. I live at 516 Whitman Drive here in Turnersville. Before I begin, I want to thank you for this opportunity to express my opinion, one of the great liberties that this wonderful country provides. I also want to thank you, the Washington Township government, for addressing the much-needed bridge repair on Whitman Drive. I really thank you. It's been needed for a while, and I really appreciate this. And the people there, I'm sure the Chief of Police appreciates that he's from Whitman Square, too. Whitman Square greatly appreciates your efforts. Having noticed that Mayor Gattinelli wants to make our township a great place to live, work, and raise a family, I began thinking of ways to make Washington Township a better place to live. Today, I'm going to talk about relieving of the traffic congestion, especially during rush hour, where the old Black Horse Pike meets Route 42. 42 is a state highway, but someone has to inform the state of a needed change. My suggestion is to transform the shoulder into a third lane at this intersection. Blackwood Clementon Road has 3 lanes with no shoulder near the ShopRite area, as an example. Today's cars don't break down as easily as in the past, so that there's not as much a need for a shoulder. The Pike will flow directly into the third lane. It would decrease accidents and violations while entering the shoulder lane where no stripes exist. Drivers travel the striped areas illegally all the time. Gas consumption, air pollution, and travel time would be reduced because of this increased traffic flow. The Pike would enter directly into the new third lane without the customary lane changes. You know what? Try it on a trial basis. And if it works, a trial basis up to Green Tree Road. And if successful, extend it further. The costs are minimal and are paid by the state. These costs mostly involve painting and eliminating the striping. I want to thank you for your attention to this matter. I'm looking forward towards future related discussions. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak?
Council, good evening. Ralph Campana, Washington Township. The gentleman that just spoke before me rung a bell, and I just want to pick up where he left off. He was saying possibly use the shoulder. That's being used in parts of our state and parts of other states I've traveled. They usually do it rush hour. It'll be posted by the state that the shoulder's able to be used from, let's say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 9 o'clock at night because of rush hour. So again, I'm sure that would have to be regulated by the state since it's a state road, or maybe it's a county road. I know it isn't our road, but I have seen where they have done it, again, on a temporary basis, a time slot. A couple issues I want to speak about this evening. I always ask about the empty businesses on the Black Horse Pike and what we can do. Route 42, what we can do. I see Denny's just closed up. The resolution that was just approved for bringing in a contract for affordable housing and contract for affordable housing administration agent. Is that for just housing, or is that for businesses as well to try to get businesses to move, try to get businesses to come in or move forward, or try to get businesses put in our town so we don't have that empty Route 42? I'm just wondering if that's what that's all about. I'm hoping it's not about putting in more affordable housing. I think we may have reached our limit. I mean, we have that project going up. Hopefully that's all we'll have as far as the affordable housing is concerned. I believe it's with Triad Associates, and I read a little on their website. It seems like they're consultants. I'm doing it by memory. Hopefully I have it right, but I'd like to know a little bit more about that. Thank you. Great job, Dana. Thank you. Thanks for doing it for us, for the Eagles. Appreciate it.
Anybody want to address?
I can address the
Affordable housing, I'll talk about the RFP.
Mr. Campano, the affordable housing appointments and contracts that you see on tonight's agenda have to do with housing only. And that is the result of the 2015 New Jersey Supreme Court decision, which returned the affordable housing obligations for each municipality throughout the state back to the courts. And every municipality in the state, including Washington Township, has had to make application to the courts to have a housing plan approved. The current status of this case is that the Affordable Housing Advocates Fair Share Housing Center, their expert, has a very high number for affordable housing units throughout the state, throughout all the county, and throughout each municipality. Washington Township's expert have a lower number. We're trying to resolve the case, work out the case, but who knows if that's going to happen. So what you see on tonight's agenda are the contracts for the special affordable housing attorney, Mr. Serenian's law firm, who is special counsel handling that litigation for the township. And Triad Advisory Associates is a company that implements all the affordable housing regulations for units that are already built or units that will be built to make sure that they meet all the requirements, that people who meet the income and rental requirements are actually placed in these units, that these units have the proper deed restrictions. So they're more of an implementer. So one's for the attorney and one's for the implementer. Unfortunately, this is the dictate of the New Jersey Supreme Court, and every municipality has to follow it.
Okay, and now with regard to the RFP that I discussed in my reports, that it's the application closes on the 15th. We're actually trying to hire a economic development officer that will report to the advisory economic committee. And the hope with this is for them to maintain the relationships with the current businesses to make sure they stay within the town, and then also attract new ones by advertising and other needs of the town, just to attract the new businesses. So we are working on that, and we're trying to hire the best person for the job, somebody that lives within the town that understands Washington Township, because we feel that they would serve in a better capacity if it's somebody that's here that understands the economics and what has been going on over the last couple of years. So that's our plan. The application closes the 15th, and then we'll interview candidates and then pick the best one, and then hopefully they can get a head start and start implementing different processes and maintain relationships within the town.
Anyone else from public wishing to speak?
Council, my name is Robert Davis from Colts Neck, and have something just a little bit lighter. A couple of weeks ago, I looked on Wikipedia for the history of Washington Township. Talked about Herfield, how Herfield got its name. Talked about heritage dairy stores started in Washington Township with the heritage farms, and gave a bunch of information about some other things in Township. I did put that out on Nextdoor. Got a large number of people who I guess thanked me and said they didn't know that. And I just thought that, you know, anyone here who would like to find out more about Washington Township can either go on Nextdoor or they can go on Wikipedia and get that information. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nah, come on, clap. That was good.
How is everybody? Congratulations on the win,
Thank you.
and congratulations to you, Chief. I want to say thank you. You know, I'm a high school student at Township, and the police force is definitely a big improvement at the school. And I see it, I think, on the freshman, sophomore side, is that more of a police presence over there. I see that, and that's awesome. You know, not too many fights anymore at the school, so that's definitely, you know, we have such a bad rep, but it's definitely a big step up, so I appreciate it, so thank you. I just had a few questions.
Peter, can you just...
Can I get your name, please?
Name Peter Coppola, 13 Mufferson Road. Is that good? Okay. So I know I work, and a lot of people work, and town council meetings are sometimes hard to get to. Is there a way, I know it's on TV, but like YouTube or something that you can view it on? I know, you know, like Facebook does like that Facebook Live. Like, is there a way I can view it? And also, I see a lot of times that people lose track of their time. Is there a way we can get a timer up to see exactly how much time that we have? So, because I see sometimes what happens is, you know, somebody will say like, oh, you have a minute left, and it throws them off track, and then they get aggravated, and then it's just this whole big mess. So I just had those two questions to ask you guys. So congratulations again to the both of you, and that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we can get a timer.
Yeah, timer's no problem, right?
We have a
Great idea.
timer.
Thank
It's right there.
Been there the
Except
whole time.
when it goes off.
It makes a loud buzz, so we can use it. You'll hear the buzz. We try to be courteous by not doing it, but if that's what the public wishes, we certainly can use it.
Well, that's what one member of the public wants. I can tell you that arguing before appellate courts where they have these timers, I'd much rather hear somebody say you have a minute left to go than watch this thing slowly wind down, sort of like the time of your execution. But it's a good idea, perhaps, but it's really up to council on whether they want to use that.
So you can see exactly. I know that's kind of hard. I'll buy it for you.
Now, we have one. So
What about the
live streaming or
live streaming? Didn't we have a problem with doing that, Leo?
Well,
Yeah,
you can view them on TV.
I know on TV, but I know like you know it's certain like times like if you could just like access it at your own like will, you know what I'm saying?
There's a,
Where are we?
I was asked to do the research on that. There's a cost issue. There's also a storage issue with our website, and that to be able to store them on our website, we'd have to make a large purchase of space to be able to do that. And talking to our IT people, and I mean, we're not talking like $100, we're talking several $1,000s because of the website we're with. So that is a consideration. You're always welcome to send us an Oprah and pick up a CD. We have videos that they're doing, and we make them available. Cost you 66 cents. You pick up the CD, and you can view it at any time then. That's always available.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing no one, could I get a motion to close to the public?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next council meeting is scheduled for February 28th at 7 p.m. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you.